everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today is the first of this brand new series that I'll be bringing to both my Facebook and my Instagram called Friday Flows. Friday Flows is going to be an unofficial flow series that I will attempt to upload every single Friday. It will vary between floor work flows, pole flows, yoga flows, and everything kind of in between. And these are just going to be things that I do in my personal practices. So these are unofficial classes and just things that I enjoy doing throughout my own practice that I'd like to share with you. If you are interested in taking an official class with me, you can click the link either above or below, depending on which system you're watching me on, Facebook or Instagram. But you can go ahead and click that link and you can schedule or book an official class with me. I instruct through Kinetic Connection, yoga and dance. They are a brand new yoga and dance studio that just opened during this pandemic. All classes are online and they are donation-based. So all you have to do is click the link, book the class, and you can join me from home just like you are right now. So getting started, today's flow is going to be for those that experience a monthly cycle flow, if you know what I mean. So if you can read the title, today's flow is a period flow, yoga flow. So if you personally do not experience a menstrual cycle and you do not want to participate in this class, that's totally fine. Tune in next week. However, if the mention of periods or menstrual cycles does not bother you, this will be a nice restorative flow that you can also do as well. Just a mini disclaimer, in historics of yoga and classic yoga practices, there are a bunch of asanas or yoga poses that are not recommended if you're on your period or are said to be avoided due to either health things or spiritual concepts. But regardless, there are a bunch of things that we will be doing in this that are not recommended classically through yoga. So again, this is not an official class. This is something that I do because I believe that in this current day and age, and as science evolves, as we evolve, as times evolve, yoga kind of moves with us or could be used as a tool to help us in these current times. So for me personally, disclaimer over, for me personally, I believe that there's so many people out there that now work in professional jobs as performers, as entertainers, as athletes, or as people who just work physical jobs where you're constantly moving or lifting things or having to go upside down or like scuba dive. I don't know. There's so many things that we all do in our life where we can't allow our period to just stop us in our tracks. You know, we're not able to just halt those activities. So that being said, on days where I am just cramping and in a bunch of pain and I don't see how I'm going to be able to do those movements that I'm required to do through my day-to-day life, whether it be career or personal life, that I can't just stop every single month for a week to a week and a half to 2 weeks, depending on how things are going in my flow. Yeah, so for me, it's just impossible. So I wanted to share with you all a little bit of a yoga flow that helps transition me from just being in the fetal position in bed, like I cannot get up today, to going about my day and accomplishing my goals and continuing life as normal. So this yoga flow is a little bit of a tool to bring you from your bed up to moving and completing your day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Even though I'm currently in my studio space, everything that you're going to be seeing in this flow can be done from your bed, from a couch, from the floor. Whenever you first wake up, I tend to usually do this in my bed when I wake up and I just feel like crap. So although I am in my studio space right now, you don't need to move or go anywhere to complete this. You can do this all right from your bed. Instead of yoga blocks, you can also go ahead and use your pillows or blankets. I'm actually going to grab a couple examples for those right now. Okay. So beginning with this flow, I'll usually, as I said, begin waking up. So if you would like to join me in this, follow along, laying flat on the back, legs joined together at the knees, feet spread out wide, planted into either the floor or your mattress or your mat, wherever you may find yourself. Draw the palms of the hands by the belly button or the navel and allow the fingertips to rest along the ovaries and the uterus and whatever areas are causing you discomfort and pain through the front side of the body. Gently put pressure into these areas, maybe massaging, wiggling the fingers a bit. Not going too low here, just in the uterus region here, in the navel region. Just allowing a little bit of pressure. And just acknowledging, where am I feeling the pain this time in my cycle? Is it more in my back? Is it more in the front? I have ovarian cysts, so is it more in my ovaries this time? More through my uterus? And just sort of feeling that out. Paying it attention. Giving it my intention. And as I feel this pain, I begin to imagine what it is I need to accomplish throughout my day. Is this pain too much today? Do I need to stay in bed today? The answer is yes. Listen to yourself. The answer is no. And the answer is I can press forward and I have things to do. Then listen to yourself. And send that intention down into your uterus. I tell my period, you're not going to win today. Now starting out, focusing in on the pain, and then just begin to acknowledge it. Paying it a little bit less mind. Yes, the pain is here. And yes, it will probably continue throughout my day. But feeling this pain means that I am alive. The fact that I'm bleeding means my heart is pumping. And as my heart pumps, I get to experience more of life. And that's a beautiful thing. Begin to draw the focus, draw the awareness away from the pain, away from the uterus, away from the back, away from the ovaries, and into the lungs. Focusing on the breath, just noticing not changing the breath, not forcing the breath, just simply acknowledging that it's there and being thankful that it's there. As you breathe, begin to pay even more attention to the small details of your breath. Is the breath feeling dense? Is the breath feeling easy? Is there a sense of moisture to the breath? With every inhale and every exhale, seeing if the belly rises or if it expands, and if it contracts or if it falls. Just seeing where you are today. Allowing the lips to close. You were breathing from the mouth before. Breathing through the nose if possible. If struggling, return to the open mouth breath. Otherwise, inhaling through the nose at a count of 4. You're going to hold the breath at the top of the breath, holding the breath for another count of 4. Exhaling for another count of 4. Holding the breath at the bottom of the breath for a count of 4. Beginning to bring my breathing into square breathing. Allowing my mind to think of nothing else except the breath. If you would like to join me in this exercise, take a deep exhale. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Return the breath back to a pace that feels comfortable for you. Remembering to acknowledge the brief pause in between every inhale and every exhale. As that pause is a brief reminder that life is right around the corner if you're willing to experience it. Exhale, draw the knees to chest. Putting pressure right on the abdomen. For myself, this feels very comfortable. especially rocking side to side on my spine or on my sacrum, the area right in your hips, right above the tailbone. For me, this feels really good on my back, and that counter pressure in the front feels really good. If this is too intense for you, you can also release the grip a little bit through your shins and widen the knees, creating more room for your belly to breathe. And you can still get more of the same sensation through your back, allowing an easier way for you to breathe and less pressure on your uterus and that front area of your core. So be sort of like doing a child's pose, but on your back instead of on your legs. I often will alternate between this. So if you would like to alternate with me as well, you can join in. If that does not sound appealing to you, you may fast forward this clip. I will hold my hand up like this when the exercise is complete, so you know where to resume the video. Exhale, draw the knees together. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw the knees in, widen the stance of the knees. Inhale, lengthen, draw the knees up a little bit. Exhale, knees to chest. Inhale, lengthen, rolling the sacrum down. Exhale, knees fall apart, fall to the chest. You get the drift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fall. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, knees flop to the sides of the body. Continuing the same action. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck the knees into the chest, nice and tight. Wrapping the chin into the knees. From here, taking a rock of the spine, side to side, falling over to whichever direction feels more comfortable for you. And just taking a moment to stay tucked in this ball here. When ready, roll to the other side. I'm going to fall off my mat, but that's okay. Again, when ready, roll back into a neutral central position, still tucked into your ball. Inhale and reach the arms up and overhead with the knees still tucked. Exhale, arms come down to the sides. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, arms lower. Moving slowly, moving with intention, moving with control. Drawing the focus into our upper body. This way we're not focusing so much on the lower body. Continuing with the arms, inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, drawing them down by the hips, keeping arms straight. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Next, inhale, straighten the legs. Straight out through the heels. And a big long stretch, feeling that right in the uterus. Stretch those abs. Good. From here, I'll usually remove my blankets if I haven't done that yet. Committing at this point that I have decided I'm moving forward with my day, and eventually I will need to stand up. Mentally preparing and physically preparing my body. Begin to just sort of work the heels, pointing the toes, flexing the feet, pointing the toes, flexing the feet, alternating if that feels good, rolling in circles. Drop the knees up to the ceiling, bending the legs, planting the feet to your mat or mattress, keeping the sit bones still neutral, hips neutral. Arms still reaching up and overhead. Drop the right knee to your chest. And bring the leg over into a figure four. Your ankle crosses over your left thigh. Thread the needle. Reach the arms through the space you created between your two thighs and your calf. And wrap around your left thigh, drawing the knees into the chest. If brave, straighten that left leg, reaching and pressing through the heel straight up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend and draw the knees even more into the chest. Release the left foot back to the floor in your standard figure four. See this time if you can press your knee on your right leg more to the wall by your feet, opening up those hips even more. Good. Exhale, drop the right foot and left knee over to the side, coming into a twist. You need to roll over more onto your left hip to establish this figure. Please do so, as we want the twist to be more through our belly button and the mid or high area of the spine. We don't want this twist really falling into our low back right now. And I personally like to kind of rub my in this position, as a lot of the back pain kind of comes from more of the ovary area. However, I'm not sure if that is a good thing to do. So again, this is an unofficial class, and this is what I do to feel better when I'm on my period and feeling crappy. Okay, inhale, draw back to center. Exhale, release the right foot to the floor. Then you'll repeat on the other side. Exhale. Come to your figure four. Inhale, arms up overhead. When ready, grab your needle through the space that you created between your two thighs and your calf. Wrapping around the right thigh this time, drawing the knees to chest. Just taking a moment here. A good way to help your knees out in these positions, if you're feeling any tightness or strain, or just to protect them in general. Flexing the feet will help release a lot of the stress in your knees in these positions. Inhale, push through the heel, straighten the leg, get straight to the sky. Exhale, bend to the knee. Inhale, leg straight up to the sky. Exhale, bend to the knee. Inhale, sky. Exhale, bend knee. Inhale, sky. Exhale, bend the knee. When ready, release the foot, the right foot back to the earth, back to your standing forward. Seeing this time if you can open up your left hip even more, pressing your left knee back to the wall where your right foot is pointing to. Again, keeping the feet flexed. When ready, exhale and fall over to the opposite side. Do the same twist. Inhale back to center, your standard figure four. Adjust your hips so they're back to neutral positioning. Plant the left foot back down to the mattress, matching the right leg. Both knees bent, pointing to the ceiling, about hip width apart. Begin to bring the heels closer into your sits bones or your buttocks, almost as though you could touch your heels, or if you can, grabbing your heels. That's the positioning we're looking for here. Preparing for a bridge. Begin to draw your chest up to the sky, lifting, creating a little bit of a back bend already. That way you're able roll onto the outsides of the shoulders, really drawing the shoulder blades into the center of your body, creating the central pull throughout your whole body. On your next inhale, push through your soles of your feet, palms of your hands, all the way through your outsides of your arms up to your shoulders, lifting the hips into your bridge. So exhale, inhale together, lift into your bridge. Exhale and lower. Inhale, lift. Squeezing into the center line. Really pressing your chest up towards your face. Pushing through your toes and your heels to create more of a lift through the hips here. So just lifting straight through the hips, really engaging the core and activating through the chest and pressing up towards your face or the wall behind you will really change the effects of this positioning here. Exhale, lower if you have not already. Inhale, lift. We'll do 3 more pulses. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Go ahead and straighten out those legs. Full body stretch. At this point, I'll usually take my pillow, place it behind my shoulder blades, opening up my chest a little bit more here. You are in a space where you have your yoga supplies. You can draw your block here, into your supportive fish. I love to put my arms up over my head in sort of this star shape. You can place your arms wherever is more comfortable for you, whether it's down by your sides, out to a T, cactus, explore here maybe. But as you're focusing all this energy in the upper body, opening that all out feels very nice. And remembering to breathe through this all. Also use your towels or a rolled up blanket here. If your block is too intense or a pillow is not enough. When ready, make the decision to sit up. Having my pillow, rolled up blanket, block right nearby. Stick that right up under the booty. Lifting the sits bones and the hips up over the thighs, creating a little bit easier movement here to try to create a lengthened back. So with the natural curves of the back, it's pretty impossible to create a full straight back. But so we want to simulate that sort of effect of a straight column through the body. So by sitting on the edge of either a pillow, a rolled up blanket is my preference, because then you can sit just right on the edge, getting just the sit bones there to perfectly prop me up and assist the legs and the low back in this positioning. So as we're here in our staff pose, We want to activate the whole body. So this pose should feel firing. You should feel a bit of a fire, some heat gathering in the body through this position. So starting from the base, we really want to work on centering our weight through the sits bones and getting that equally distributed. I'm struggling a bit here. Boop. There we go. Once equally distributed, we want to simulate that straight back, pretending that there's a cord or a string extending straight from the top of the crown of the head, and someone's pulling that directly up. Now, as we're doing this, you may notice my shoulders rose straight up, my ribs lifted, and I'm in a straight back. However, in this positioning, we're putting a lot of stress in the neck here, and to engage this lift a little bit easier and to engage the core more and create less actual strain through the spine and neck, what we can do is we can pick a spot on the wall and imagine that someone is pulling this cord and you're lifting straight up from your ears. So pulling from the ears and more of like the back and top of the head, creating more lift through the neck, allowing the shoulders to relax and fall away from the ears, creating lift through the ribs. However, keeping those shoulders relaxed, keeping the bottom tips of the ribs rolled back, and lifting from the top of the ribs engages a lot more of our core, allowing us to sit nice and straight. From here, we want to press actively down with the palms of our hands right by our sides, keeping the legs flexed. I try to hold this positioning as long as I can. All I want to do is curl over, but I know I won't be able to curl over later today. So instead, I practice holding this position. When ready, you may inhale, lifting the arms up overhead, not losing that shoulder and flat back that we just created. Hinging from the hips and leaning and reaching up and over forward for the toes or just up and forward. To more of a forward fold. Grab the toes, feet, mat. You can get your elbows to the floor. That's wonderful. Just really looking to create lift and focus more on the hamstrings here in this back instead of just curling over. We'll do that in a minute. You need to create some bend in the knees, go for it. That can help you untuck the tailbone a little bit more and decrease the rounding through the lower back. There's no shame in making adjustments that help you and your body. And as always throughout this flow, if you feel any major pain, discomfort, snapping, pulling, please stop. Return to a movement that feels comfortable for you or stop altogether. There is inherent risk of injury when doing any form of yoga or dance, so please keep that in mind and please back out of any movements that are causing you pain. That being said, I'm sure this has been hard to hold. Let's go ahead. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, curve the back. And relax into the spine over the legs. Deepening this fold. Slowly walk the hands back, coming back to your neutral position. If you wanted to hold that longer, of course, throughout this flow, feel free to pause at any moment or fast forward as needed. Coming off of my pillow or blanket or whatever I have around me at the moment that I'm not feeling well, I remove that from under me, switching over onto my shins and coming into embryo pose. And just sort of like that fetal position that I was discussing earlier. Knees tight together. And doing essentially what we did on our back, just now the other way, preparing myself more to stand up. When ready, open up those knees, come into child's pose. You can have the arms in, have them out. T, however you like to do your child's pose. Inhale, rock forward. Draw the knees together. Exhale, lower back into your embryo pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink back to child's. Inhale, find lift. Exhale, back to embryo. Arms are standardly by your sides or your feet here. Good. Now this is where things get a little weird. I tend to sort of come into a child and just sort of work my hips a little, rotating into some circles, sort of massaging my uterus here, and just working on really opening up my hips. Getting prepared for some movements I may need to do later in the day, especially if performing. So just sort of creating some like rocking movements, circles, side to sides, forward backs, all that good stuff. When ready, push up through the hips, coming into puppy. I personally like to touch my toes in this positioning. For me, it feels a lot more comfortable on the knees. If you feel better doing your feet pressed flat to the floor, feel free to do so. I personally prefer the tucked version. Good. From here, I plant my hands and press up and through a plank over into my upward facing dog. Here, really stretching deep into my uterus. I know this is usually meant to be more of an upper background stretch and chest opener. However, I feel on my period, this is wonderful on my uterus. It is a big stretch. Pushing back through to puppy. tucking the toes, planting the hands, pressing up through my plank, and then to my up dog. And I know you're probably looking at me like, girl, you said I could do all this in a bed. You can do this in a bed. You can. One more time. Pressing back through to puppy. Good. From here, dropping the hips. Planting the hands behind my body. Fingertips pointed in towards my feet and towards my hips. And opening the chest here. Lift up through the hips. Not very far this time. Just little bits. As for my personal practice, I tend to just sort of rock a little bit. I'm not looking to get crazy here. I'm not looking to increase my flexibility here. I'm looking to just sort of like help my organs feel better. So just sort of rocking a little bit. We just did our big stretch. I'm good for right now. Just wiggle a little bit. Exhale, fall back to child's pose. Coming up onto all fours. Creating that same figure four shape that we did earlier. Bringing your right knee to your right wrist, right ankle to your left wrist, as close as you can. If you need to draw it in more to your hips, that's okay too. Wherever your flexibility level is at. But creating that same figure four, we'll drop down into our pigeon pose. And again, not looking to hold this one too long either unless needed. If you need to hold these longer than we are, go ahead and do so. Starting to speed up a little as I know my computer is about to die. So exhale and fall over if you haven't already into your bend. Inhale when ready, coming back to all fours. Switching left knee to left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. Letting that foot out into pigeon. And ready, exhale and fall over that foot. Ready, inhale back up onto all fours. Draw the knees out wide. Legs, or shins and feet follow. Coming into your full frog. Looks like you're trying to do the middle splits here. And I usually will rock the hips slightly. Maybe do some hip circles here. If you're feeling a lot of stress in the knees, please bend those ankles, keep those feet flexed. Remember to create lift still in this pose in between the thighs. We don't want to sink into this too hard. We want to still be creating opposition here. Pressing out through the knees and pressing up through the hips, creating an opposite pull effect through that thigh. Creating a really good stretch Taking the feeling a little bit more away from our core here and bringing it more into our hips. Good. When ready, roll back all the way onto your tummy. And usually just sort of press my weight into my hips, rocking them around, sort of giving my uterus a final little mini massage. Doing whatever feels good to you. Probably will look weird, but it feels great. Almost done here. This time, roll onto my back one more time. Drawing the knees in. And this time, switching which foot I extend out. So as I inhale, I push out and extend. Exhale, drop back in. Push out. Draw it back in. This time, alternate. Out. Bring the left in. Left out. Left in. All right. Now actually alternating. Sorry about that. Did 2 on the right, 2 on the left. Now we will alternate. Send the right foot straight out in front of you, hovering. And switch. Press through the heel of the left foot, setting the leg straight, hovering. And switch. 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 Exhale, draw both knees to chest. The reason we're doing these semi-bicycle movements is because the body releases a chemical. I think it's a hormone, but we're going to stick with chemical for right now. The body releases a chemical that causes the uterus to contract. However, along with the uterus contracting, which causes a lot of our cramping, it also causes parts of the digestive system to contract as well, such as the areas right by the bowels. So this contracting can create more bowel movements or interesting digestive situations while you're on your period. So for me, getting moving and getting started in my day, doing this sort of bicycle movement or workout, whatever you want to call it, personally helps me a lot. So that being said, go ahead and move forward into circular movements with the legs as we switch. Really engaging that core, which sucks, but it also gets things moving. I don't know how many people have children. I don't, but the way I think of this is sort of like gassing the baby. So that's kind of what we're doing for ourselves here. So just sort of big circles with the legs. You can even, depending on what you have going on, play around with your ankle placement. If you'll push through the heels, be dragging. Is this movement coming from the hips? Are you moving more from the knees here? How are you activating it? How does it feel if you activate different areas? What's going to be most effective for your day? If you pull through the hips more here, you're going to feel it more through the core. If you move through the knees more, you're going to feel more of like a jerky movement, which will just create different effects. We're not looking to injure ourselves here, so moving with intention. Again, if things hurt, please stop. This is going to be the final movement of this flow. And once I feel that like the purpose of this has been achieved, and I start to feel things rumbling and things are going good, I will then draw the leg opposite the middle of my bed. So let's say the middle of my bed is on my left right now. I will take my right leg and stretch it over the left, doing one final deep twist up through a higher thoracic area of the spine. I think that's the right word, sorry. Again, unofficial class. Keeping the knees bent or the feet flexed here to protect the knees. Rolling over on the hip, creating that higher twist. Just doing one final twist in towards the center of my bed. When ready, switching and twisting towards the outside of my bed. And when ready, rolling up over my bed. Getting up, ready to start my day. A little less crampy, a little more prepared, a little more ready. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this about hour flow. I do this in those mornings where I'm just like, there's no way in heck it's gonna happen. So remember, you're valid, you're strong, you're amazing, and you deserve everything you put your mind to. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and go kick some butt, and don't let that period hold you back. Thank you. If you liked this, please comment below and let me know if this did help you. If it didn't help you, if it made something worse, better, let me know. I want to hear from you guys. I do have connected in the comments below a link if you did like this and wanted to leave me or the studio a little bit of a donation. Again, this is an unofficial class. These are views unassociated with the studio directly. This is just my sort of thing, my flows that I like to do. You can get to know me better on a more personal level. Myself and Kinetic Connection like to keep things very real. So I figured why not kick it off with our Flow Fridays with some flowy help. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you next week on Flow Friday. Have a wonderful day. I did intend to actually upload this earlier, but I ended up reshooting it. I wanted to do it when it was lighter out, and then I ended up getting distracted talking about mental health with some people, so this kind of got postponed a little bit later. But regardless, it should still help you if you're on your cycle, and thank you. And if it doesn't, again, let me know. I'm blabbering now. Have a great day.